How's it going? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. Do me a huge favor, jump into the chat to see if you of you have already read the memo, which is right here. Let us know you're here. Tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about, what you feel life and momentum on. Also, if you've got questions tonight, we are more than happy to answer those for you. And also, I think I got a little bit of feedback going in back here. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I'm hearing myself. So that's a little bit annoying and distracting. So I think we got it fixed. Let me say hello to a few people. Mary, who's saying hello. I don't know where are you joining us from? Then we've got Nikki from St. Louis. Good to see you, Nikki. Dina from Blairmore, Alberta. Good to see you. And we have Nakobe. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Nakobe from Stamps, Arkansas. Crystal is joining us from Sydney, Ohio. And Nikki is actually in St. Louis. Oh, I think Nikki switched Facebooks. All right. Kelly is joining us from Prescott, Arizona. If you're just making it in, you haven't missed anything yet, but do let us know that you're here. Jump inside the chat. We've got great content that I'm doing, started last week and doing over the next few weeks. That's basically, we're going to look at your entire year and how you can grow your coaching practice year round. And we're going to look at everything month by month so that you've got a real great strategy for your coaching practice. But in the meantime, say hello to me before we jump in. Don't want anybody to miss anything, so we're giving people a couple of minutes to get in. Sandy's joining us from New Jersey, Rose from Philadelphia, and Miles from San Diego, Isaac from Kenya, East Africa. Wow. What time of the day is it in Kenya? It's 5:19 on Pacific time here in LA, or I should say LA time, not in LA, California time. Josh is joining us from Texas, just getting started. That's great. Sharon's joining us from Florida. Maureen joining us from Ohio. So Ohio's taking over tonight, unless we get some other states that are just like start packing it in or something like that. I don't know. But do me a huge favor again. Let us know that you are here. Jump inside the chat and say hello. Tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about, and if you got any questions tonight as we're going through the content, then we want to be able to answer those things for you as well. So as those comments are continuing to come in, let me talk to you about what's coming up this weekend, so that you don't miss this important information. This coming weekend is actually Bootcamp weekend. It's August 16th through the 18th. Now, I know some of you are watching me and you have not knocked your certification out. And after I cover what we're going to talk about tonight, you're going to feel the urgency to get it done, because September, October are the best months of the entire year to get clients. And it would be a pity if you were just sitting around when you could knock out all of your certification training this coming weekend and get your business up and going, that you would miss out on the biggest months of the year. So when are you going to do this? You going to wait till next summer? Summer's already over with. We're already halfway past the year. So this weekend is a great time to put all of your excuses away, because listen, if you don't have anything extraordinary happening this weekend, you might as well do something extraordinary, which is join us on Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Let's knock your certification training out of the way and let's get this credential done so that you can start taking clients and making money. So let me tell you what we're covering this weekend in 7 powerful weekend sessions. Session 1 is Foundations of Coaching. Session 2 is the Anatomy of a Dynamic Coaching Session. We look at what is involved in a coaching session, what are the dynamics of a coaching session. Also included in there is a role play demo so that you can actually look at what a coaching session actually looks like, feels like, and we go into great detail about that. Session 3 is how to help your clients get extraordinary results. We do 2 sessions on how to listen on a transformational level. Session 6 is how to ask powerful questions. And session 7 is how to establish a growing coaching practice. I'm going to give you the setup and really the beginning blueprint for building a 6-figure coaching practice. This weekend, you will experience live coaching demos. You can practice as a coach. You can practice as a client, get feedback. We also have live Q&As at the end of every one of those sessions. What's also included? Well, like I said, there's 7 live sessions with live Q&As and role playing. There are also, we're going to give you brandable templates, including coaching agreements and a client welcome pack. All of that is designed for you inside of Canva. You can make it your own and you can change anything in it to match your branding or anything else. We give you the coaching tool starter kit and a bunch of question samples. You're also going to earn your life coach certification. And yes, we'll give you your credential ID. We host your certificate. You can use that link or you can download it yourself and print it if you want that. Of course, there's going to be replays, all the handouts for the weekend, and you're also going to have included live Tuesday training because every Tuesday we do training from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 to 9 or 8 to 10 if you're on Eastern Standard Time. And that way you can continue to connect with other students as well as get your questions answered. The cost is only $247. This is a program that is fully accredited and it should be priced at $3,500, but we have no haggle pricing. This makes it a no-brainer. You can also enroll for as little as $47 and pay 6 months at $47 a month to get this done. So we've met you where you are, both in cost, both in schedule, and we've got you more than covered with enough training to make you a high-level competent coach. So there's some people who are on tonight that I know have gone through boot camp. And if you guys would just tell them, even in the comments, what your experience of boot camp was, that would be amazing. Now, let's get into the content for tonight. But let me say hello to just a couple of people who are saying hello to me that I didn't get around to just a bit ago. Isaac's all the way in Kenya, and it's 3:15 a.m. Way to go. I don't know what you're up so early for, but I mean, if we're worth being up in the middle of the night, you are a champion. I have to say, that's amazing. David's joining us from Indianapolis. Bill is joining us from Texas. And let's see, Scully was in from Oregon, did boot camp in June, finally done with assignments and passed my exam. Congratulations. Way to go. Americo is saying hello from Richmond, Virginia. Alexis is saying hello to me as well. Good to see you. And we've got Diana who's saying hello. And Maureen says, Bootcamp is very informative and resourceful to help you move forward in your business. Thank you. Keep those beautiful comments about Bootcamp coming, and we're going to jump back in. Last week, I started out this series talking about the mistakes that coaches make that keep them from growing year round. Some of you didn't realize this, is that coaching, when you launch your coaching practice, you should be able to grow your business year round. Does not matter what's going on, doesn't matter the month that you're in or anything else, is that you can always be growing your business. And granted, there are some months that seem to be more explosive and more what I would call a season of growth than other months of the year. But when you know when the seasons of growth are and what's going on from month to month or season to season, then you know how to prepare. But I shocked some of you last week. I asked, what do you believe are the months that are the best months to get business, and what is maybe the worst month to try to get business? You know what's interesting? A lot of people said that they believe that the worst month to get coaching clients was December, November and December. And what I showed you guys is that's actually almost the second best month out of the entire year is November and December. So you know what coaches do? They have a tendency to be thermometers rather than thermostats. Thermometers, that they look at what everybody else is doing, who are employees in places. And you know what happens with certain people as they're going out throughout the year is that sometimes people kind of disconnect. Sometimes throughout the year, people aren't very goal driven. Sometimes people aren't very focused in the business that they're working for. And sometimes business is slow at certain times of the year, and people just have a bunch of company parties, and they have a lot of holiday time, and they take vacations and everything else. And that's fine, but here's what happens is that coaches notoriously get lazy throughout all of summertime, and then they miss, which is the number one months out of the entire year, which are actually September, October. So they don't make a priority. They don't prepare. And so what happens is September's 2 weeks away. Most people have their kids going back to school either this week or next week. Every now and then you'll find some students that go back after September. And we're going to talk about September and October. But you know what also coaches do? They go zip, they disappear. Nothing's happening on their social media from November to December. And that is the close, very close, almost the second busiest months of the entire year. You know who's getting all of those clients during that time? It's coaches who are actually hungry, who prepared and understand that year round you're growing your business. So when coaches are basically non-existent, they're not operating in their business and they're not doing anything from November and December, what's happening in the number 2 month of the entire year, which is January and just into February? Well, they don't have any momentum. They're basically doing nothing. They're coming back from their turkey coma and from the little paper cuts from opening up their gifts over Christmas time. And they're coming into January probably with debt on their credit card. And they could have been taking advantage of January, but they didn't. And and so what are we left with? Well, coaches again unprepared and are missing out really for the next 6 months straight, 7 months straight is nothing but business, business everywhere. And if you're not prepared, I'm holding you accountable for this. You're accountable for what you know. You weren't before. You're accountable now for September and October and November and December and January and February. You don't have any more excuses now. You know that there's business to be had. Now, I'm going to hold you accountable for what you should be preparing and doing so that you don't miss out on these opportunities anymore. Now, to start this and talking about September, October, right now, is we're on the cusp of it. We're on the cusp of these important months. So here's what we have to do. You know that seasons impact mindsets that people have and the way that they think and the way that they operate and their emotions and all of these different things. The season of the year and literally the month of the year has an incredible impact in the way that people behave and the way that they show up in life. Now, what we have to do, if you ever go to a retail store, if you go to a retail store right now it's August, what are they pushing inside of retail stores right now? And when I say retail stores, I'm talking about Kmart, Kmart. Why am I talking about Kmart? How old am I? And you guys know I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, I don't even know if Kmart exists anymore, so scratch that. What's going on in Walmart? What's going on in Target? What's also going on in all the retail clothing stores? Well, they got a couple of different things going on. You know what they started talking about? Not just this week, but about 4 to 6 weeks ago. Back to school shopping for clothing, back to school fashion, but also back to school kinds of products and everything else. So that most people who are waiting until this week to get their shopping in are finding bare and empty shelves whenever they go in these places. You know why? Because the retail stores have been pushing it actually for a while. You notice that they never give you a chance to breathe and enjoy the season that you're in. How many of you have noticed that when October rolls around, before October is over with, they're already talking about Thanksgiving and they're showing Christmas stuff starts changing inside of the stores? They don't give you a break. They know what they need to start talking about. They know that they need to start putting seeds in your mind about what you need to be doing as your next step in your life. And seasons have an incredible way of impacting the mindset and sometimes the state of being and the emotions that people have as they go in these different stores. You know, retailers start talking about the next season long before people are even thinking about it. This is a clue for you. You need to be a thermostat, as I was saying last week. So that means that everything that you are talking about in your social media, in your email marketing, in your blog posts, in your YouTube videos or TikTok videos and everything else, you are dictating the behaviors of the people and if they're going to be ready to respond. So everything that you need to be talking about and everything else should be in line with the mindset of the season so that you can actually take advantage of what's going on. But you've got to be a thermostat, not reactive, not talking about stuff that doesn't doesn't really connect with where people are thinking and where they're focused right then. See, the other thing that I would say is that retailers use impactful tools that touch the emotions. What are some of those tools? They use language, they use countdowns. How many days till Christmas? How many days till Thanksgiving? How many days until the school year starts? They use language. They use joyful language. What do you start seeing around Christmas? You start seeing different kinds of imagery. You see people opening up gifts. You see a lot of red. You see a lot of green and all of those other kinds of things. So they use countdowns. They will use music. Pretty much every store that you go into, retail store and everything else, they want a soundtrack to go along with your shopping. You don't go into retail stores and it's completely silent and then all you hear is screeching hangers and everything else. No, they want you to feel good when you come into the store and they want to motivate you to buy something. And there's also visuals and what I would say in quotes deals that you can only get during that time. And all of these things create a momentum and get them ready to buy and get them focused on what they should be focusing on during that time. Now, what should we be focusing on? What I'm going to do over the next few weeks for all of these months, I'm going to start showing you what you should be focusing on. What is the mindset, prevailing mindset? Now, granted, I realize that some of you are watching from outside the United States, and maybe in the country that you live in, it's not just exactly like it is in Western culture. And so, my apologies that I am a Westerner, and I'm talking primarily to Westerners about these kinds of things. And so, as we're looking through these things, what are the prevailing mindsets that you can really take advantage of so that you can be talking about what you need to be talking about so that you can get clients? All right, here's the first part. First part, oh, and I'll just say this, you partner with the mindset of the season that you're in. So, what are they? Mindsets of fall, September, October. What are they? Well, there's a renewed focus on goals, believe it or not. Why is there a renewed focus on goals? Well, here's why. Because fall is a time to refocus on goals that may have been set aside during the summertime. And what happens is that when people get to the end of summer, they start to get a sense of getting back on track with whatever their personal or professional aspirations are. So what happens a lot of times when the kids are home from school, people start going on vacation or they just get super lazy. And I know how it is when you're used to bringing your kids to school because the very end of the school year is exhausting. And here's the funny thing is that regardless if your kids are in school or not, regardless if you even have kids, there's a certain rat race that everybody's actually in this thing together. And you'll notice that when the school year ends, all of a sudden there's a lot less traffic in the morning, and you can get to work. You get to leave 15 minutes later than what you used to be able to leave, and you can get in and do things that were a little bit easier or whatever, and you're not bombarded with certain things. So everybody's kind of in this track together. So what happens during the summertime is that you take it easy. And I understand when you got kids and they've been running around and you've been having to bring kids to school every day and everything else that you're like, and they're tired of going to school. They're like, the kids get to sleep in. I get to sleep in and not have to bring the kids to school before I go to work and everything else. And then you end up having less and less structure. Your kids are staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning and all this other stuff. Literally, parents right now are trying to get their kids to bed at a decent time, and there's a big battle going on. But they're about to win it where they get their kids back in a routine. And this is also for us adults, the time to get back on track. Even for anybody who's enjoyed a great summer and now they're like, you know what? I'm really excited. Summer was fun, vacation was fun, and people start actually enjoying going back to a routine and getting things done. You know what they're going to find? They're going to find that they've put some things off and actually lost some momentum. So, what we want to do is that we want to position coaching as a tool to help them revisit and achieve the goals before the end of the year has been lost. So, these are things that we should be talking about and we should have been talking about over the last month, but not too late. Now, another mindset of fall is the desire for structure and routine. Again, after a summer of coasting and a lack of structure, People are actually ready right now to tighten up and to start getting things done because they didn't get a whole lot done over the summertime. And you know what that means? It means it's a perfect time for coaching because the structure and accountability of coaching helps establish habits and routines. So, again, this is something that we are going to leverage as we're talking about coaching. And this should be part of the marketing lingos. Like I was saying, what retailers do. This should be some of the soundtrack. This should be some of the music. This should be talking about those kinds of tools and countdowns and all these other things. These are the things that we should be talking about. But there's a couple of more that I want to share with you as well. Fall is also a time that people naturally connect fall with school. Back to school for elementary, kindergarten, elementary and junior high and high school and college. But fall is typically connected with education and learning. Even if you're an adult and you have been out of college or out of high school or whatever for a really long time, there's something embedded in fall because it is a fall mindset that we connect it with going back to school and learning and growth. So this is big time for us. Fall symbolizes a fresh start. Think about what your kids say at the beginning of the school year, how hard they're going to work and how they're going to get up on time. Some of us have these overachieving kids that are going to miss summer, but then once school starts, they're like, I'm going to stay organized this entire year. And I'm going to get my assignments in on time. And we don't know how long that's going to take, but really, even kids sense this fresh start, fresh year, clean slate. Everybody feels really good about the start and a new year and all those other things. And so it's time for learning and personal growth. So what you've got to do as a coach is that you've got to take advantage of this theme to talk about growth, to talk about developing yourself, and it's also about how to create a fresh start. So maybe that's part of the language and part of the soundtrack that you're putting together, some of that shopping music for them that you should be talking about in your blog posts, on your videos, or countdowns towards some kind of a challenge or even a program or something that you're launching. A couple of more though. These aren't all the themes. There's a couple more. Fall brings a change of season. What do I mean it brings a change of season? Well, people are adjusting. What happens in fall? Well, you have a time change. You get a weather change. You get a schedule change. There's all of these different things that are happening all at once. And so what ends up happening for people is that they actually respond to the changes. Where do you see the changes? Everywhere that you look. Where I live in California, visually it doesn't look terribly different. Matter of fact, we get late summer where I am. Matter of fact, September and October are the hottest months of the entire year where I am. It's kind of a weird thing. But even us, we respond to the season in this way. Like we've been having all these vacationers in and everything else, and we kind of get our place back to us. And it's also the warmest time of the year. But in other places, what do you see? Changing of the leaves. You'll see weather and patterns start to change and everything else depending on where you are. And we connect it with these things. And you know what change does? Change also gets us ready in our own lives to be like, okay, how do I want to turn over a new leaf? What do I want to be different? What change am I looking for in the season of my life? And so what we've got to do is to take advantage of this theme of change because right now people are actually excited. They're actually ready for a change. Some of you guys who are like in parts of the country where it's been hot and humid and it feels like it's been hot and humid for 6 months straight. Some of you are looking forward to that weather change. You're just like, man, I'm going to miss summer, but I'm not going to miss this heat. How many times have you heard that? I'm going to miss summer, but man, I'm not going to miss all this heat and humidity. I'm ready for a little bit of a change. I'm ready for fall. So, again, this is the mindset. This is the language that we're communicating in. Let me give you a couple more. Health and wellness. How could health and wellness be such a big one this time of the year? Well, here's why. Because people indulge over the summer. and they're literally ready to tighten up on the way that they eat, on the way that they exercise. Now, I know that some of you aren't necessarily health and wellness coaches, but what we're saying is that people are still in this mindset of, man, I've been really, really lazy. I feel sluggish. They feel sluggish up here. And so they're, again, ready to tighten up. They're ready for some routines and they're ready for change. So take advantage of the desire to finally be accountable for your choices. And also, this, I love this word. Some people don't like it during the summertime, but you sacrifice for a better life. That also means investing in themselves with coaches. It means taking into account your life and making different choices. Here's the last one. End of the year is near. We're only a couple of months left of the year. So you know what that means? If you've only got a couple of months left in the year, that most people are behind on their development. Most people are behind on the goals that they might have had for this year. So it's a last ditch effort. It's a last chance to dig in and to get done the things that they didn't get done. So this means that you get to take advantage right now of their procrastination, of their putting off, of them getting sidetracked, of them getting off track. I got off track with summer. I get distracted with summer. I hear these things from coaches. Summer, they weren't, you know, they weren't taking accountability during the summertime, and oh wow, summer just went like that. And now that they're settling in, they're like, Paul, I've heard this a lot. I'm ready to recommit. I'm ready to dial in. I'm ready to anchor myself. I'm ready to finish what I started. Again, this is another theme. These are all the themes. You can go back and look at this on the replay of the themes that you should be incorporating and capitalizing on over the next few weeks. Now listen, it's not over. September's right there, but you also have October that you're going to be able to benefit from October, because you know what? It's going to take parents a couple of weeks to get things situated. It's going to take people a couple of weeks to get into the routines. Some people are going to be complaining, hey, didn't we all go back to school after Labor Day? When did they start going back to school in August? We forget this every year. And it's going to take them a couple of weeks to acclimate. So it's not too late. It's also not too late for you to get trained and certified. This weekend, do you like that segue? This weekend is Bootcamp weekend. It's our 3-day life coach certification program. We start on Friday. We go all day Saturday, all day Sunday. You knock all your training out in a single weekend. It's 7 powerful weekend sessions. In these sessions, we cover session 1 is the foundations of coaching. We show you what coaching is versus every other helping role that is really out there, how it contrasts to counseling, therapy, mentoring, all of these other things that you might be familiar with. In session 2, we look at a coaching session. We actually watch one on the front end of this session, and then we show you the dynamics of a coaching session, all of the parts, and really what you'll have is about, at that point, about a 20,000 foot view on what coaching is, and you'll know what it looks like, what it sounds like, all of those other things. Session 3, we talk about how to help your clients get extraordinary results, because coaching's all about setting and achieving goals. That's what we focus on: goal setting and accountability. Sessions 4 and 5 are all about how to listen on a transformational level. How do we move past lower level listening to listen on a deep level that produces transformation in the client? Session 6 is how to ask powerful questions, because questions are the most powerful tool that a coach actually wields in a coaching session, and we show you how to do that well. Session 7, we show you the beginnings of building a 6-figure coaching practice. We have live coaching demos as the weekend progresses. We also have live Q&A, so you can ask me questions. And so it's an incredible, dynamic, global group of people who are brilliant and join us. Again, what's included? The 7 sessions I just described, along with Q&As and role playing. We also give you brandable templates inside of Canva that you can edit and you can make your own. You can change color schemes, you can change language, pictures, any of that stuff. It's a full welcome pack that you have access to. Also, you get a coaching tool starter kit. We load you up with tools throughout the weekend, but this is a new bonus that we give you for the weekend. And we also give you a ton of question samples. Obviously, you're going to earn your life coach certification. You will get a certificate. We also give you a link that's hosted on our website that you can put anywhere on your website or in LinkedIn or any of those other things. You also get HD replays and handouts. And you will also have included live Tuesday training where you can keep coming and asking questions, connecting with other coaches, and being a part of the community. Again, the cost is only $247. That price tag should be $3,500, but we're making it affordable. You can enroll for as little as $47. The link is inside of the description of this video. And Americo says, invest in yourself. The best investment. He had gone to boot camp here here recently and already has clients. Americo already has corporate clients and everything else. That was just like, what, 2 months ago? Something like that. Let me see if I need to say hello to anybody else. Oh, there's Charlotte from Illinois. And Marine's laughing at me because I said Kmart earlier. I'm sorry. You know, it's obvious I don't do a whole lot of retail shopping these days. I'm pretty much a search and click person inside of Amazon. But I might as well mention retail stores because they actually still exist out there. Uh, Bill says Bootcamp is an awesome opportunity to apply the principles of coaching to your own coaching practice. If you are not fired up after Bootcamp, then you probably already died and they just haven't buried you yet. Oh, thank you for that, Bill. Let me see. Boot camp was so great, so much valuable information, and the cost is simply a gift. Any tool you could possibly need is covered. Don't miss out. Thank you for that. And yes, some great stuff in there. Anybody else? Do you have any questions before we head out? Um, it's been a great time with you guys. And we're going to continue this series next week. You know where we're going to move? We just talked about September, October. We're going to talk about November and December next week. Then the following week, we're going to be talking about what your strategy is going to be for the new year, which again is an incredible time to be able to get clients. Again, if you have not gotten trained and certified as a coach yet, there's hope to get this under your belt before we enter into the greatest months of the entire year. And I will say this: coaching has continued to grow. I've watched even Life Coach Training Institute has doubled in size in the last year, and we were already the largest life coach training program in North America. And so there's a lot of people getting in the business because there's a lot of people who need help and are looking for help. And so this is an incredible time. Even if this ends up being your side gig, this is one of the most amazing side gigs because not only is it satisfying in your purpose and calling, but you know what? If you need to make side income or you need to cover some bills or whatever, I know that's the way that I started my business. I'm like, I'm just trying to cover the shortcomings that I'm not that I don't have going on in my regular business in the regular job that I have. And then after I started that, I never thought that I could go full time in anything on my own. And it just blew my mind. So it can be done. It does take a little bit of work, but there's plenty of people who are out there who are looking for your help. And even right now is an incredible opportunity to get things up and going because it's literally people are looking for you. I think that you aren't looking for your clients. I think your clients are actually looking for you. The link is inside the description. You can get enrolled in 90 seconds and you can join us this weekend. And you know what that means? That means that we are going to head out for this week, and this will go on replay for the rest of the night. So if you missed any parts, you can come back immediately and you can watch it. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.